desire. Shadows creep, the flames grow higher. Moonlit graves and evil schemes, fighting phantoms, haunting dreams. Echoes of forgotten screams, horror not as it all seems. Battle cries and blackened void, demons that I once enjoyed, now a strength they can't avoid. Living past, I'm forced to destroy. I suppose the blood they crave, spirits risen from the grave, clawing beasts the souls they save. I'll be fighting till I cave, monsters hiding in my fears, bloody masks and deadly leers, fending off the painful jeers. Victory drowning in my tears. Battle cries and blackened void, demons that I once enjoyed, now a strength they can't avoid. Living past, I'm forced to destroy. 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 Moonlit graves and evil schemes, fighting phantoms, haunting dreams. Echoes of forgotten screams, horror not as it all seems. Battle cries and blackened void, demons that I once enjoyed, now a strength they can't avoid. Living past, I'm forced to destroy. To destroy. To destroy. To destroy. To destroy. To destroy.
In the still night, whispers float. In the quiet, heartbeats slow. No clash, no roar, just silence. In the shadows, battles won. I see through foggy veils, no swords to raise, no cries to wail. Victory's touching ghostly hue. Darkness glows a pale blue. Silent shadows trace the ground. In this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease. Creeping through the twisted wood, echoes shards where warriors stood. Just a breath, just a wish. No more war, no final fist. Wisdom whispers in the night. Strength in peace, no need to fight. Witness walk in soft embrace. No battle scars, no deadly taste. Silent shadows trace the ground. In this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease. Silent shadows trace the ground. In this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease. Shadows crawl from the grave, whisper secrets dark and brave. Eyes that pierce into the night. Monsters come, we must fight. Candles flicker, casting dread. Ghostly wails fill my head. Chasing demons lost in time. Sanity a steep climb. Off with his head she screamed. Blood moons eerie. bloodstained blade in hand. Stand your ground, make a stand. Curse whispers fill the air. Spirits cry, beware, beware. Through the fog and through the flame, monsters here know my name. Silence screams, hearts break, nightmares come wide awake. Warriors of woe take flight. Darkened souls embrace the fight. Shadows crawl from the grave, whisper secrets dark and brave. Eyes that pierce into the night, monsters come, we must fight. Candles flicker, casting dread. Spirits cry, beware, beware.
Whispers in the dead night fire, broken dreams and twisted wire. Darkness feeds on fierce desire, shadows creep, the flames grow higher. Ruler graves and evil schemes, fighting phantoms, haunting dreams. Echoes of forgotten screams, horror not as it all seems. Battle cries and blackened voids, demons that I once enjoyed, now my strength they can't avoid. Living past I'm forced to destroy. I suppose the blood they crave, spirits risen from the grave, clawing beasts the souls they save. I'll be fighting till I cave, monsters hiding in my fears, bloody masks and deadly leers, fending off the painful jeers. Victory drowning in my tears. Battle cries and blackened void, demons that I once enjoyed, now my strength they can't avoid. Living past I'm forced to destroy. 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 Moonlit graves and evil schemes, fighting phantoms, haunting dreams. Echoes of forgotten screams, horror not as it all seems. Battle cries and blackened void, demons that I once enjoyed, now my strength they can't avoid. Living past I'm forced to destroy. To destroy. To destroy. To destroy. To destroy. To destroy.
In the still night, whispers float. In the quiet, heartbeat slow. No clash, no roar, just silence. In the shadows, battles won. I see through foggy veils, no swords to raise, no cries to wail. Victory's touching ghostly hue. Darkness glows a pale blue. Silent shadows trace the ground. In this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease. Creeping through the twisted wood, echo shards where warriors stood. Just a breath, just a wish. No more war, no final fist. Wisdom whispers in the night. Strength and peace, no need to fight. Winners walk in embrace. No battle scars, no deadly taste. Silent shadows trace the ground. In this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with these. No need to fight, no need to seize. Silent shadows trace the ground. In this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to seize. Shadows crawl from the grave, whisper secrets dark and brave, eyes that pierce into the night. Monsters come, we must fight. Candles flicker, casting dread. Ghostly wails fill my head, chasing demons lost in time. Sanity a steep climb. Off with his head, she screamed. Blood moon's eerie gleam. Battle cries through the dark, leaving fear's deep mark. Echoes of sins long past, fighting shadows deep and
Second. There's my buttons. Okay, cool. Sorry, too many buttons and I'm too easily distracted.
No,
So,
understandable.
Great
Understandable.
combination. My name's Alan. I am Mr. Bitey's Gaming. I have been a nerd for a very long time, entirely too
Nice.
long. Basically, I started Mr. Bitey's Gaming, and I started the Shattered World because I used to teach tabletop RPGs, and it got to the point where I would help friends kind of figure out what campaigns they wanted to run, and I'd help new players design their own little homebrew settings, and I found I was just constantly making all these house rules for so many different settings that I figured if I was going to screw up somebody's setting, it might as well be mine.
That's
And
fair,
went from there.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm making all these house rules anyways. I might as well make my own module.
Right, exactly.
Then no one can argue with you though, because like you made it, you're the boss. And they're like, no, that's not the rule. They're like, well, I made the game, I just invented it. So yeah, no, it is. It's now a rule.
I think you have way more faith in the internet than I do. I fully expect somebody to correct me on how the Shattered World works like 5 minutes after it launches.
Fair. No, that you are right. You are right there. You've got it. Yes, absolutely. You're like, actually, no, this is how it should be. And you're like, okay.
That's right. Clearly you don't understand what the writer meant on page 7. I'm like, clearly I don't. You're right. My bad.
Yeah.
You're right. I, the writer, must be.
Yeah. The customer is always right though, so you know,
That's
not like so.
you just gave me flashbacks to working retail. That's horrible.
Same, I don't miss those
That
days.
was too much for a Monday.
Yeah, indeed.
Oh,
we all just went back behind the checkout counter for a second there.
that's right. So, oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna ask. So, what's your current progress on the Shattered World? Is this something that's currently available? People can purchase and play. Where kind of are you at in development at the moment?
So it is not available for purchase yet, unfortunately. I am currently working on 2 books. Our first book is going to be our introductory adventure quick start guide, and that is the Shattered World Operation 0 Hour. Our plan is to have that released within the next 2 to 3 months. We are also at the same time working on the Shattered World, our core rulebook, and my goal is to have that out by the end of the year.
Excellent.
Yes.
Oh, quick sidebar, by the way, guys. While we are going through this and talking and everything, if you guys in the chat have questions, feel free to drop them. We're going to make sure that we go back to them and that we answer any questions you guys have. So please feel free, if you have questions for Biney, to drop them in the chat, and we'll make sure that we get to them. So, okay, so you said currently working on finishing up the oh my gosh, I totally lost the term you just said. Your first play, the first story, the first
Yes, the introductory adventure.
Yes, the introductory adventure, Operation 0 Hour, which is what we
Yes.
have an awesome picture of here on stream of what I assume is probably going to be the cover of that.
Yes.
And you're working on finishing your core rulebook by the end of this year.
Correct.
Awesome. And so, can you tell us a little bit about what Operation 0 Hour is? Kind of maybe an introduction into what that story is going to be.
Absolutely. So if it's okay, I'm going to start with the Shattered World as a whole first and then move on to Operation 0 Hour.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Please do.
Awesome. So the Shattered World is an urban fantasy, modern fantasy adventure. So for those not familiar with the term, skyscrapers, cell phones, the internet, all of that exists, but so does magic. So do supernatural creatures. The basic premise in the Shattered World is, since the beginning of time, magic has not only always existed, but magic has always been known to exist. Magic is very bloodline based. Think more like a sorcerer from Dungeons and Dragons or Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? If you want to know Fireball, you better be part of the Fireball family. If you want to know how to throw rocks at people, you better be part of the rock throwing family.
So magic is kind of more related to bloodline, sort of, in this
Yes.
game, kind of like with the sorcerers in D&D. Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
So everybody, magic is bloodline based. The world up until 5 years ago was very stratified. Like, yes, events would happen, but it was very, I am part of the fire family, I do what my dad did, he does what his dad did, etc., etc. The game itself draws heavy inspiration from both cyberpunk, so think cyberpunk, think Shadowrun, and it also draws inspiration from World of Darkness games like Vampire the Masquerade. So, very dark setting, very bleak setting. One of the points is trying to find hope within that darkness. 5 years ago, there was an event known as the Helmira Incident. Mostly because I have to represent my hometown. I can't let a beautiful name like Helmira go to waste.
I was gonna, yeah, absolutely. You have to. You just have to.
But in the Helmira incident, a tear, a rip in reality occurred. No one in universe knows how this happened, and it was closed shortly after it was opened. But that set a chain of events in motion. Now, periodically throughout the world, anywhere in the world, these tears can open. These tears do one of several things, good and bad. Number one, if you can find one and you can stabilize it, you can go through it. It leads to various pocket dimensions. Land, resources, opportunity. Think California gold rush in the 1850s. There's a couple flaws with that, though. Number one, supernatural creatures, as I mentioned, have always existed. A lot of them had been hunted into extinction. Think, in our world, in our reality, think, the dodo bird, the carrier pigeon, etc. Since these tears have begun opening, No one in universe knows if these monsters are coming through the tears, if they're being summoned by the tears, if they're being created by the tears. That's one of the big mysteries that players will have to find out. But supernatural creatures, supernatural incidents have begun rising in relationship to where these tears are.
So part of your goal in the game is to kind of figure out, is that correlation or causation,
Yes.
and what the source is and how to stop it, essentially, is kind of like one of the overarching things
Yes.
you'll be doing.
Yes, exactly.
Very cool.
Yes.
I like that.
The other big thing, so the way I usually describe it to people is, in this world, before the tears occurred, everybody had magic. Now, for most people, right, for 99.9% of people, I have magic translates to, I know telekinesis. I can point at my cell phone and lift it up off my desk very slowly, about 5-10 feet. Right? I have a healing factor. If I break my ankle, it heals in 5 weeks instead of 6. Very minor cantrip level stuff.
Gotcha. It's like kind of daily things
Yes.
that might be a little bit helpful here and there, but it's not like go into battle and annihilate someone with your magical prowess level.
Right. The average peasant does not have access to Meteor Swarm.
Right.
Okay, fair.
Which is, yeah, very fair. The problem is, when a tear opens, if you are exposed to a tear, you may, it's not guaranteed, but you may be infected by that tear. You may become what's known as an enhanced. All player characters are enhanced. If you become enhanced, on the plus side, you gain access to a new suite of abilities that we're calling Destiny abilities, and they are the spell equivalent in the game. I shared, and I think I saw it on the stream, the High Priestess picture that I sent by Broken Hearted Studios.
Yes, I love it. It's beautiful.
Yes, he did an amazing job. All of the Destiny abilities are divided out into the major arcana of the tarot. When the core rulebook launches, we will have 12 major arcana, and then as more books come out, more will be added. But
that's so
I
exciting.
do love
I
tarot
love
stuff.
Yes.
tarot
Yeah.
cards.
Same. We've talked about this before. That's amazing.
yes.
And yeah, I was gonna say, because Valor's got a whole book. That's
I
based
did.
on
Really?
tarot as
I
well.
did. I studied a little bit of tarot and stuff. Like I wrote a book, and like the main premise is there's a tarot card serial killer, and
Oh,
the main
shit.
character thinks he's being chased. Like, yeah, the main character thinks he's targeted by this tarot card serial killer and stuff. So I mean, I didn't know too much about tarot. I could read tarot cards basic, and then I researched the high arcana. Like I researched a bit more of that and stuff. So like it got me really into it and stuff. So yeah, no, I love anything tarot card based. It's just, I don't know,
That
it's just
was
a cool
something
concept.
that was the theme in Cyberpunk as well, wasn't it? Where you had to
Yes.
go around and collect tarot cards.
Yep.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Yes.
Love that. So it kind of ties that in with it as well, which is kind of cool.
Yes.
The rift concept also reminds me of like closing the rifts in Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't know. If
Yes.
but-
Yes, I was thinking the same. I played that last year, and like, yeah, it's like, yeah.
Yes. I lost my train of thought. Oh, Destiny abilities. God. So, when you become enhanced, you gain access to the new Destiny abilities. But there's a major issue. You lose all access to magic as it is understood in this world. You could have been this reality's version of Gandalf and Harry Dresden and insert powerful magic person here all rolled into one. You become enhanced. I'm sorry, dude. You're a level 1 peasant now. Deal with it.
Nice. I kind of
Whoa,
like that.
and-
Love that, yeah.
okay. But in regards to the magic, right?
Yes. You can still access magic in items because it's not your magic, it's magic being powered by the item itself. There are still rituals that your character can do because rituals are basically the cosmic vending machine. You make an offering to a deity, to an outer being, whatever. They send you some power. Those still work. But if you had the ability to, again, for example, throw or cast Meteor Swarm, you don't have that anymore. And that's part of where the name Shattered World came from. Not only, yes, is the world itself shattering with these tears opening up all over, but if you were, for example, the heir apparent of your family and you have the ability to project your voice and your family has been the political dynasty in your region for generations, you don't have magic anymore. You're not part of your family anymore for the most part. Where does that leave you? What is your future? What is your destiny anymore? Because everything was just taken from you. How do you move on?
Yeah, not only is the world itself fracturing, but as people are being affected by this, so is their place in it and how they function in
Yes.
it as well. That's
Yes.
very interesting. So none of the, I assume, I'm not sure what you would call them in your module, classes. What would be the equivalent for Shattered World to like D&D classes?
So there is none. Short answer.
Okay, cool.
In the Shattered World, it is a classless system. You get your character sheet and you put your experience points directly into your attributes and your skills. You put them directly into your merits and you buy your destiny abilities with your points. As you get more experience, you do it directly.
I remember you talking about that on one of your streams. I think you were kind of showing it a little bit. So as opposed
Yes.
to in D&D where whatever class you're choosing kind of guides you as to what you're going to pick, like, okay, I'm going to be a rogue, so I need to have good dexterity,
Yes.
what have you. You're really creating a character based off of what skill sets do you want this character to have, and you're kind of controlling that with your experience points in the sense of you're choosing, okay, where are you going to put this into specific attributes?
Yes. So when you make your character in the Shattered World, you start with your base attributes, right? Your ferocity, your mental acuity, your dex or your agility, etc., etc. You then pick your background or your culture and occupation. Culture is how you were raised. Occupation is what you do for a living. So,
Right, okay.
for example, I was an athlete and I was raised by athletes. I am a teacher, an academic. I was raised by academics. I'm a thief. I was raised by academics. I'm Indiana Jones.
Nice.
Cool.
Etc., etc. They're not a class. The closest kind of funneling for your character into this is kind of where you want to go would be organization. There are 8 organizations in the world that are trying to snap up as many of these enhanced as they can to use, because only an enhanced can safely stabilize these tears.
Right, so whoever controls the people that can control the tears controls
Right.
the world.
Right. There are 8 organizations. Now, for any of you familiar with Vampire the Masquerade, I am going to rant for just a second. It'll be over quick, I promise.
No,
It's
please
gonna be
do.
like similar to clans, right?
Similar, but with a major difference. In Vampire the Masquerade, clans aren't supposed to be classes, but your clans are your classes. If you want to play a barbarian, you pick Bruja because you have super strength and you have super speed and you have a presence that can terrify people. That's a barbarian. And then in Vampire the Masquerade, yes, technically, theoretically, I can spend my XP and learn blood magic from another vampire. I can do that, but it costs more XP than normal to do that. I have to jump through hoops. I have to make somebody like me, which is hard to do as a vampire. Blah blah blah. Your clans are classes. They're classes with a couple hoops, but they're classes. In the Shattered World, SHI, for example, Supernatural Hunters Incorporated, are very much the overkill is underrated, nuke 'em all, let God sort it out organization, right? That's their shtick. You can play a devout pacifist as a member of SHI, and it still makes sense, it still works. It will flavor your character a little differently, but you can do it, and you're not inefficient, you're not unplayable, if that makes sense.
I like this. So it seems like the way that you kind of structured this module is to where choosing a certain group or organization, what have you, might, involve some of your storytelling, and you might want to choose some certain attributes and abilities based on that. But it seems like you really, as the player, have full control over.
Yes.
You can do any backstory, any background you want, and you have full control over what
Yes.
skills and attributes you have as a result of that. So you're not locked into anything by choosing a class and a background and so on.
Yes, if you want to start your character as Gronk, the big dumb fighter with a metal stop sign as a club, you can do that. And then 6 sessions in, you've got some XP banked, and you decide you want Gronk to start learning some magic, you can do that. You may not be as efficient at magic as Sarah the librarian, but there are other merits and the like, and equipment that you can specialize in to push you in a different direction while still being both magic and melee, for example.
So, important question I wanted to
Yes.
ask from you talking about this is with the fact that all the playable characters will be enhanced, and becoming an enhanced means that you can't use magic in the traditional sense of how it's
Yes.
been understood in this world. So how would that work for a player who's interested in using magic as a mechanic for their character? How does that come into play in that case?
So in that case, the best way to do that is, again, I mentioned the destiny abilities are all grouped by the major arcana of the tarot. So if I want to play your traditional Harry Dresden style wizard, I will probably take the Arcanist or Trust Fund Kid, or if I'm playing Harry Dresden, he doesn't have money. I can't go against character like that. He's poor as shit. You would take the Arcanist background, or the Arcanist occupation, and probably the criminal background to reflect his I accidentally dueled and killed my master, and sorry, I'm not trying to do recent spoilers, Dresden fans, my bad. You would take the Magician Destiny to get access to a couple spells. You would crank your Endurance, because he gets beat to hell every 5 minutes, and your Mental Acuity, because he is smart. And you would start purchasing rituals, and then you would use certain equipment to supplement your magic. So just like how in the books Dresden uses his staff to control his force magic and his air magic, and he uses the blasting rod to control his fire magic, there are implements in the game that you can use to replicate that. Now, it won't be exact, it won't be perfect, but you can absolutely make a Dresden-style character a reasonable facsimile of.
I like
Hey,
that. So there's
Sarah, welcome
yeah,
in.
like there's options to definitely.
Yes.
There is definitely ways, like with the destinies and stuff like that. You can definitely do stuff to influence that. I like.
Yes.
That's good.
One of the
Love that.
Yes. One of the other things we're doing is, and again, now instead of ranting about Vampire, I'm going to rant about D&D 5e real quick.
Go for it.
One of the things I dislike about D&D 5e, and this was one of the things that made me set up our equipment system the way I did, is in Dungeons and Dragons, most games, most campaigns end in that level 10 to 12 range.
Mhm.
At level 1, you have a normal sword. Cool. Awesome. Level 2, maybe level 3, it becomes masterwork. Awesome, I have a +1 to attack. At level 4 to 5, it becomes a +1 weapon. So rather than being a +1 to attack, it's a +1 to attack and damage. And I have to get that +1 first before I can add any special abilities. Cool, I just spent half my character's career earning up to a +1 to attack and damage. That sucks. Me personally, I don't like that. I like letting people do cool and stupid stuff. So with the equipment system in the Shattered World, it's very much based off the idea of aftermarket modifications for computers and cars, right? Nobody buys stuff just off the rack. Nobody gets a computer from Walmart and that's it. They don't do anything to mess with it. So with this, you would buy, say, your handgun, right? Every handgun, every shotgun, every firearm, every melee weapon has a list of attachments. Barrel modification, grip modification, optic modification, hilt modification, blade edge modification, etc., etc. And you can spend some time and swap them out to truly customize your own equipment. And that mechanic starts at character creation, assuming you can afford it.
I love that. So it sounds like the focus here really was to give the player as much control over what they're playing as possible, which I'm loving how that's sounding.
Yes.
Because I think all of us, if you're someone who's played a lot of TTRPGs in your life, you come to a point where you come up with a character idea and then you basically have to figure out how to force your character idea to fit into the module you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you end up having these conversations with your DM of, well, I want to have this weapon for my character, but it doesn't exist in the game. Will you let me do X, Y, and Z in order to make it work within what we're playing, right? And then your
Yep.
DM has to decide if they're going to allow that. Whereas it seems in this case, you as the player really have all of these options of you can say, okay, I want this type of weapon that does this, and that's available to you to do that as long as you can afford it, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes. So one of the big things is when you look at the equipment section, you're not going to see short sword, long sword, Dow, Bob sword, Frank sword, Claymore, whatever. You're going to see one-handed swords, one-handed straight, one-handed thrusting, one-handed curved. And then the equipment section will have a little table or an aside. Hey, do you want your character to use a Chinese Dao? Here's what you do. You start with the one-handed straight edge blade. You get the flexible body material modification. You get the single edge edge modification. Here you go. Do you want a Scottish style claymore? Here's how you do it. And then when more books come out, we're going to be focusing more on here's modifications that work together to allow you to make different weapons, and not I'm going to put out a book with 17 different handguns that all have the exact same stats. I just use different names for each one.
Right. Which would not be ideal.
Right.
to have. So that's good. I like that. So, kind of a question about the module as a whole here.
Yes.
With how you're designing your core stuff, your rule book and everything, is the goal here to have it be kind of like players are really more encouraged to play the adventures that you'll be putting out, or you're setting it up in kind of a way of you want people to be able to pick this up and DM this, of writing stories that fit within this world and being able to kind of put their own take on it, maybe even include some homebrew stuff in the future? Do you feel like it's structured to be able to allow for that?
Yes. So my answer is, and I get that this is kind of a slimy answer, but my answer is yes, both. But
Hey, it's good for it to be in the middle, right?
Yes.
Because I mean, you do have in TTRPGs quite a wide range where you have some that trying to write your own story really doesn't work in it at all.
Yes.
You have some that it works for both, and then you have some where it works great with homebrew. So it's kind of a spectrum.
Yes. I am of the firm opinion that the tabletop RPG hobby, right, the genre as a whole, would not survive without homebrew. It would not survive without a bunch of nerds sitting around like, yeah, the latest Forgotten Realms module is awesome, but man, I want to do something just a little bit different. We would not survive. This hobby would not still be here. How many times, like, think to your own play groups, your own play sessions. Nobody remembers that time you followed the module perfectly. Everybody
goes back
remembers.
to- yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, that goes back to anything though, like any games as well. Like, oh my god,
Mhm.
like even think back to Monopoly and like you make these friends and you go play Monopoly at their house and stuff, and then they say, no, this is what happens when you land on free parking or anything like that.
Yep.
There is so many games and like even video games, mods and stuff. Like homebrew is such an important thing
Yes.
to games, and like yeah, like you're saying, it does keep the industry and the market for it alive. So that's so valid.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where the replay value comes from.
Mhm.
Yes. I remember back in the day I was running a D&D game for 3 players. Paladin, wizard, and a gunslinger. Like cowboy hat, spurs, straight out the Wild West gunslinger. And I was running them through this dungeon. Long story short, they came across a sleeping cryohydra. And immediately the paladin and wizard start very quietly arguing. One of them wanted to just go on by, one of them wanted to kill it for the XP, and the gunslinger's just sitting back and chilling and watching his 2 longtime friends argue. And if this was a video game, those would be the options, right? Like, we're going to kill it or we're going to move on.
Mhm.
And after 20 minutes of arguing in real time, the 2 players realize that their buddy hasn't said anything yet. So they turn and look at him, and in character, our gunslinger goes, well, boys, when I was growing up on the ranch, my father only taught me how to do one thing. Break horses, yeehaw. Turns, runs, and jumps on the fucking Hydra.
Oh my god.
And then the player, very calmly, turns and looks at me and goes, so, what's the ride check to break a Hydra?
And now you have to answer that.
Right, we're about to find out. So I called a break to the game. I grabbed a couple books and I took like 10 minutes and devised a rudimentary but very quick skill check, skill contest. The other 2 players were immediately on board, like, yeah, we're gonna help, let's do this. And we went through and figured it out, and it ended up being this whole thing. And you can't do that in video games, but you can in this hobby.
Mm-hmm. So true.
Yes, and I love that. I love encouraging that. I love letting that happen, like shenanigan to your heart's content.
Shenan once and then Shenan again.
That's right.
So
I like
so
that.
true. I like that too. I like it a lot.
So you'll definitely have allowance for that in
Yes.
the Shattered World.
Yes. One of the things we did, and this is just to kind of encourage that free flow play, is we reworked how initiative works in game. So most people are used to that kind of D&D style initiative where you, me, and Valor, we're all on the same team. We're all going to roll a d20. We're all going to add our modifiers to it. And Valor's initiative is 21 and Saucy's is 30 because you only roll 20s, I remember. And mine is like a 5.
Ha ha.
So in
Roll 20 sometimes.
right, in the Shattered World, we do what we're calling cinematic initiative, where we select one member of our group and they roll initiative for the group. Valor, you have 3 actions per turn. Saucy, because of your build, you have 2 actions per turn, and I only have 2 actions per turn. So when our turn comes, all 3 of us act at the same time. We can intersperse our actions as we see fit. If you have a grenade you want to throw, but we're in the way, we can spend an action to jump back. You throw the grenade, we jump back forward, and you move.
I kind of like that though, because that does bring, like, teamwork, I guess, is what I'm trying
Yes.
to think of. Like, yeah, that, yeah, I think it's working together as a team, and I think sometimes in, like, games I've played, like, it does, like, I don't know, when you have that one wild person that just doesn't want to do what you want to do, like, it kind of prevents that, and I kind of like that. Like, yeah, there'll be some discussion about who wants to do what, but, like, yeah, I don't know.
Yes. One of the things I tried very hard to encourage, both through the game mechanics and through the narration, the Shattered World is very dangerous. Unlike a level-based game like a D&D or a Pathfinder, etc., you will never out-level a goblin. You may get to the point where you can take out a horde of goblins easily, sure, but a goblin will never not be a threat to you. If you screw around, if you mess around, you could be a legendary enhanced agent. FAFO, it is what it is. You have to rely on your teammates. You have to work together. If you don't, you're going to die. This is a teamwork, cooperative-based game from the ground up.
That makes sense. The
Yeah, I
mouse
like that.
brings up a good question in the chat, or not question rather, but they mentioned that having it to where multiples of you are going at the same time in combat could be a bit chaotic, especially I'm imagining in a play group that has a lot of people, because I know that's something we
Yes.
struggled with in our D&D group. So how would you say to work with that in the Shattered World?
So there are 2 ways to work with that, and that's absolutely a fair point, Mask. There are 2 ways to do that. Number 1, cinematic initiative is the default assumption of the way you're going to play. Rules are included for regular initiative. If you want to do it this way, here is how you do it, here's how the stats are. The game is balanced around cinematic initiative, but you can do it this way. That is one fix. The other option that you have is when I said, okay, it's me, Valor, and Saucy, and we're going to appoint Valor, for example, as our lookout, so they're the ones that roll initiative. If you have a larger group, you can split the party. I know, never split the party.
Yeah, I was like, is that the golden rule?
Right, but you can set it up to where, for example, us 3 and Mask, I'll use you as an example if that's okay. the four of us are going into this abandoned office building, and we know there's a tear somewhere in this building. I am a heavy weapon specialist. I've got my riot gear and my shield and my claymore, so I'm going to take point, and I'm going to move from choke point to choke point. And Saucy is our sniper, so they're going to hang back behind one of the like some little barricades, or behind a desk, like running from desk to desk to stay under cover. And Valor is a bodyguard, and Mask is our computer hacker. So while me and Saucy are moving forward to clear areas, Mask is running to the security office, and Valor is sticking close to them to provide backup. Valor is the lookout for them and Mask. Saucy is the lookout for them and me. So when we roll cinematic initiative, Saucy will roll for me and Saucy, and we go together. We are one group. Valor and Mask will roll together, and they will act together as a group. And then the monsters will be divided out the same way.
I like that though. That's an interesting, way to do it. It seems logical and it makes sense. I kind of like that.
Yes.
Yeah, and I can see how that would work better with the storytelling as well, because you kind of have that thing in D&D where you go in order based on roles, but then it's kind of like you have the group of people in the front, and then they end up not going until last, and then the group of people in the back. So it kind of makes more sense to be able to control at least how it's working in the context of the story and what's actually happening in the scenario.
Yes.
But I do like how much it seems like you're really trying to incorporate multiple different types of preferences and playstyles as well, because you also had the forethought of building in here's a standard initiative rule of how you can do that if you prefer, if it makes it easier for you.
Yes. Like I said at the beginning, homebrewing is necessary to our hobby. That being said, you can't homebrew without a solid foundation to build off of. So my job is not like, if you buy the Shattered World and decide every fifth rule in the Shattered World is crap and you're going to do something different, I'm not going to come to your home and yell at you for not playing the game the correct way. You gave me my money. I'm okay. Do what you want. Like,
Right.
You're good.
Yeah.
My job is to give you the foundation so that you can build off of. As long as I've done that, I'm happy. As long as I've given you that solid structure to tell your own stories in, fucking awesome.
I like that though. I like that it's got that flexibility.
Yes.
And that, that's definitely something that's massively important, I think. And that will, be successful.
I hope so.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Are there any other major things that you included kind of specifically to cater to different play styles that you want to mention within the game?
So, yes. Number one of the things, because I've play tested this at a couple different local conventions, and with a couple different groups. One of the things that I want to bring up is a lot of people struggle, at least initially, not even with the rule system, but with the thought transfer from a D&D medieval fantasy setting to a modern fantasy setting. When you introduce modern fantasy, okay, cool, I'm going into this building. I'm going to clear it room by room. And a lot of people who are used to D&D will do exactly like that. I'm going to go from room to room. I'm going to kick open each door. Awesome. Why didn't I just go to the security office and boot up the camera system? Most people, like, they don't
Right.
even... That's right, it's modern. There are security cameras. There are etc., etc. We had one of the first playtests I did for my local playtest group. The second floor was swarming with zombies. So what did they do? One of the players, who was a hacker, got into the building security system, activated the elevators, sent the elevator up to the second floor, opened it, counted to 10, closed it, brought down a manageable group of zombies. After they were dead, sent it back up, opened it up, gathered some more zombies, closed it, brought it back down. Doing things like that, you can absolutely do. Demolitions is one of the skills in the game. So if you want to trap the floors, or trap the stairs in between floors and make a little defensive fallback, that's a play style you can do. If you want to play the kind of suave secret agent, just running through and never being noticed, that's a play style you can do, etc., etc.
Very cool. So I really love how you kind of can pivot to different things as well. Like, you're not locking yourself into a specific character type where you have to behave a certain way or do this certain thing. It seems like there's a lot more complexity to
Yes.
your character as well.
Yes.
Is that something that was a big goal for you when you sat down
Yes.
to make it? I imagine, coming into this, being somebody who, of course, spent their entire lives essentially playing TTRPGs before this, you had in mind some goals as to what you wanted to have come out of this.
Yes. I have been playing for years. One of the things that infuriated me, a long chunk of my playtime was in games like D&D 3.0, 3.5, and then Pathfinder First Edition. That represents a good 15, 20 years, which hurts to say. Now that I think about that, that kind of hurts a little bit, but...
Don't think about time. That's my trick now. You just get to an age and you're like, you know what? No. Time is irrelevant now. I did this for
Right.
a period of time. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I never understood my grandma when she was like, yeah, I'm 38. I have been for 40 years. And now I'm like, rock the fuck on, grandma. You were right. You had it, dude.
Yeah.
Like...
I'm still in my 20s. You know what? I'm telling people that I've been in my 20s for I don't know how many years now, more
Right.
than 10. But you know what? It's working for me. I'll stay in them.
Oh, I will say I'm in my 20s, but then I will stand up and my knees will tell everybody that was a lie.
Oh my god, getting up in the morning. Oh, it's awful.
Yep.
So you sound like a bowl of Rice Krispies getting out of bed.
Oh my god. You're not
Is that
joking.
did I step on something, or is that my bones? That's
Right.
my question. But, yeah.
I just assume it was my bones at this point.
So, yeah.
But no, I used to play a lot of 3.5 and 3.0 and Pathfinder First Edition, and they did a lot of things like feat taxes, where, would you like this really cool feat? Awesome. Here are these 3 useless feats that don't really do anything, but you need them in order to get to the one you need. And I hated that. I hated just a lot of the restriction, a lot of the cool, we've got this awesome archetype for monk out now, and it blends monk and duelist, so you can be this kind of, rather than being the wise sensei martial artist, you can be the kind of crap talking, real brash counter puncher. Awesome. only we didn't do it right, and you need 4 out of the 6 attributes all to be high so you can do anything, so the archetype is unplayable. Oh, cool. Thanks, guy. I wanted to try and avoid that.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Feat taxes, I never understood. I get why some game developers like. I am not one of those game developers. I don't like them. If you pick an ability, it should do something cool. Yes.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's kind of one of those things of it feels weird for there to have to be a negative trade-off to something that's supposed to be good for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I get, okay, you don't want this at level 1 because it's overpowered, so you need to wait 5. Okay, like, I understand things like that. That makes perfect sense. Hey, you only have 7 feat slots over the course of your career. You need to spend 3 of them to get this one ability. No. No, thank you. No, I'm good. But yes, what Mask said in chat, that seems to be the theme of having the freedom of doing what you think would be fun. Yes, that is what I've tried to do with the entire system. Did I succeed every time? Probably not. No one's perfect. I'm sure I screwed up somewhere. It's going to happen. But that was our goal. To give you the tools to tell whatever story you wanted and to have fun while doing it. Because if you're not having fun, why are you playing the game?
Yeah. Why are you spending your time on it? Like, exactly.
Right.
Very much true.
Uh-huh.
So with that being said, the players being able to tell whatever story they want, do you have plans for there to be future adventures that you'll release within the game?
Yes.
Or even further source material that adds to the world?
Yes. So right now, as I said, we're having 2 books out. And that's something I wanted to bring up real quick before I fully answer your question. I apologize.
No, you're all good.
No, you're good.
When the core rulebook comes out, that will be the only book you need to play the game. Unlike a Dungeons and Dragons where you need the DM's guide, the player's guide, the bestiary, or a Pathfinder where you need the core rulebook and a bestiary, with the Shattered World, it is self-contained. The core rulebook will be the only thing you need. After the core rulebook releases, after the Operation Zero Hour, the introductory adventure releases, the 3rd book is going to be Adversary Files, which is going to be an expansion of the different adversaries, the different monsters you can face. And then after that, my plan is to do 5 Theater of Operation books, basically our equivalent of a campaign setting, each one furthering the meta plot of the overall story. Now, that being said, if you don't like my meta plot, that's fine. Make your own. Legitimately, I don't mean that jerkishly, like, if you don't like my game, go away. No, homebrew and change whatever you want, absolutely, please. But the actual in-universe, the story will be advancing with every one of these books. The 5th book will be the big, oh crap moment. And at that point, it will be 5 to 10 years after we've started. That's going to be about the time we start looking at the Shattered World revised, or the Shattered World 2.0, whatever you want to call it. And hopefully by then I'll have a solid team under me to where we can make it better.
I love that you've got that timeline in place, though, and you know, like,
Yes.
This is what I want to achieve. This is what that's so important and so to have, and it does. It, like, yeah, you've got to. I personally feel I need to have goals, and I need to know
Yes.
how far I want to go with the project and things like that. How big is the team at the moment? Like, is it? You've mentioned we a couple of times. How big is your team?
So we is making myself feel better.
How Okay, I love that. I do that as well. I feel
Yes,
that.
it is the royal we, and by that I mean
Hmm.
you're talking to Mr. Bitey's. It
Yeah.
is me.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I'm the same. I am all of yeah, Valiantly Graceful Games is all me. Like, yeah,
Yes.
but I do say we from time to time. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that was one thing I was going to ask as well. Is if I, of course, we saw that you've had some help making some art themed around the game, but I was curious if you had reached out to or had help working on any other aspects, or if you have plans to.
So I have a couple playtesters I work with. I have a couple local artists in my area that I reach out to and subcontract. I do have plans, however, I am stupid. I am stubborn. I can't justify asking someone to work for less than their rent is so that I can achieve my dream. So I'm not hiring anyone else because, frankly, I can't afford anyone else until the first book or two is out. And then all of that profit I plan on immediately reinvesting into the company so that I can start hiring more people and get that dedicated team in. Um, there's only so far this can go when it's just me. I am many things, but I can't do everything. No one person can.
That's so valid though. Like that is absolutely an amazing mindset to have. Like that is yeah, pretty similar to mine. Like I don't want to take people on board if I can't afford to pay them what they're
Right.
worth sort of thing. And like if you can't, you can't sort of thing. So like you do what you can and make it work what you can. But yeah, no, that is such a yeah, I don't know, business model, I guess I want to call it. I don't know. Like what do we want to call it? But yeah, no, that is just I like that. Like I like that. Yeah, it's good to have.
I did see in the chat, Mask said, is there going to be an online version of your game? Their party likes to use digital resources so they don't have to carry big books.
So, yes, my goal for both books, or for all books, not both, is to do self publishing through Drive Through RPG. And you will be able to get both PDF and um, hardcover versions through Drive Through RPG when it is available. That being said, as far as online resources like Foundry or Roll20, yes, I plan to, but that is on the when I have a team. Um, my wish list stuff, the things that Alan, Mr. Bitey's would love to do, but I also know Alan, Mr. Bitey's do not have the know how to do it. Setting up Foundry modules, setting up virtual tabletop in general, and setting up an online character creator similar to Path Builder for Pathfinder 1st and 2nd edition. Something similar like that. I would love to do things like that. I personally don't have the know how to do that. Go ahead, Valor. I cut you off.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was. I think you know. No, you're fine. I think you just answered my question. My question basically was, if like, would you like to learn that and stuff? Because I feel with myself, like, with my game dev stuff, I wanted to do pixel art, but I had no clue how to do art in any sort of art sort of thing. So I taught myself pixel art because I was like, no, I want to learn a new skill here and I want to do it myself. So like, yeah, the fact that you have no knowledge in it, but it is something you're like, you know what? When I get to that point, or so I can grow this, like I will learn it myself. And
I would love to learn it. My issue is I only have so many hours in the day between
exactly.
my main job being a dad, doing Mr. Bitey's. It would be counterproductive for me to teach myself that because I would have to take those hours from something else.
Yeah, yeah, fair.
Which sucks. It absolutely sucks. But
yeah, the world works like that, doesn't it? Like, yeah, no,
oh,
it's
it's
trying to find balance and trying to find what has to give. Like, this is like any creative project, really, and I think we've
Yes.
talked about this in the past, is finding that time, like Saucy's mentioned on previous streams we've done, is just like, she has these ideas and these things she wants to do, but when does the time?
Yes.
What
Yeah, and
gives
that
to get
kind
there?
of brings us into a question that I wanted to ask you. And Valerie,
Yeah.
being someone who has planned out, written, and published a book, could probably have an answer to this as well. But Biney, when it comes to something like this, that's a large project, right? This is obviously something that's
Yes.
been years in the making. Um, how do you both start with something like that? Like, how do you know where to start, and then how do you um, encourage yourself and keep yourself going? Because I'm sure there had to have been moments throughout working on this where it was hard for you to continue going forward with it. So what's kind of your perspective on that?
Rum and vodka. No. Joking aside,
Hey,
In
there
that
you go.
order, in that order. Like,
yes. Not mixed together, that's a bad idea, but both of
no,
them, yes.
that's yeah.
No, joking aside, for me, quick story, and this applies to both. So, I had been working on the game for about a year at that point. It started as just a NaNoWriMo side quest away from my real project, and then it became its own thing. And I had been working on it for a year. I reached out to this local gaming convention and I was going to present an alpha version of the game for the first time. And it was my 2D12 based system. Nobody uses 2D12. And I had this really cool mechanic that I've since backburnered, but you were going to use two different colored die, and one of them was going to be your humanity die, and one of them was going to be your enhanced die, and different things would happen depending on which one rolled, and it was going to be great. And 2 days before I present this game, fucking Matt Mercer and Critical Role announced Daggerheart, a 2D12 based system where one die is your hope die and one die is your fear die, and it will do different things depending on and I was so angry. Matt Mercer is my personal nemesis. He doesn't know me, he's never met me, but I will smite the heavens to fist fight him in a Waffle House parking lot. Like, fucking Matt Mercer. And that kind of thing happens. It's going to happen. You are going to be telling your friend about this really cool rule idea that you have, mechanic idea, and you've never seen it before, and your friend is going to listen to you speak for about 30 seconds, cut you off, and go, Mutants and Masterminds, core rulebook, page 242.
Yep.
And you've never played Mutants and Masterminds, and you're going to find it, and you're going to, and there is your rule. It's going to happen. And that's fine.
Yeah. It's not letting that stop you, though, and that's
Yes.
so important, because, like, that's similar. I've been there as well with my writing stuff.
Mhm.
Like, I was writing something and it was amazing. The Judgment book, the book on the tarot card serial killer and stuff, like, while I was writing it, a couple of books came out based on tarot card stuff just before I'm ready to publish mine, and, like, there were moments where I'm like, I can't do this. I'm like, how do I compete with that? But you've just got to keep on pushing through, and that's so important. And, like, it always happens. Like, I don't know, I hate that with trends and stuff like that, when you have this amazing idea and someone beats you to it, sort of thing. And you're like, God damn it, like, oh my God, like, why? But you've got it. You've just got to push through. You've got to keep
Yep.
on going. Like, who knows? Yours might be better. And, like, yeah. If you outdo Matt Mercer, though, that's pretty impressive. So, but
And there's always different perspectives and stuff as well. This
Yes.
raises an interesting point that I've lamented about to my husband before, and I'm going to share some interesting wisdom he dropped on me about it. But I've told him before that it's frustrating because I feel like there's no such thing as an original idea anymore. And I was telling him about this,
Absolutely.
and I said, every time an idea occurs to me that I think to myself, this would make a great book, and then I find that it's already been done by somebody else. And I'm like, okay, well, no point in doing that because it's already been done. And he said, but every work of art, especially these days, is just a retake on somebody else's idea
Yes.
that was the original idea, right? And he said there's not necessarily anything wrong with that because it's about different perspectives, right? I mean, how many incredible films that we're obsessed with are just another retelling of the Grimm's fairy tales
Yep.
or,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And so, yes, you may not be able to have a completely original idea, but you might have a fresh take on that idea or
Yes.
a different perspective to offer because it might have been done before, but it hasn't been done from your perspective and in your voice. And that's what makes it unique and
Mm-hmm.
different.
Absolutely.
There are
Like
no. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, like that was like when I was in film school with screenwriting, and I learned about the hero's journey, and
Yep.
I fought it. I was like, no, this is not true. You're talking shit. Like this cannot be a thing. Like, and she's like, every story is the hero's journey. Every good story, and then I was like, okay, then what about this? And then she would explain it, and she's like, yeah, and like again, it's the same concept.
Yep.
Not every story is like, yeah, like there is no original story. It all
Yep.
links, but it's your take on it, and you've just got to do it. And like, oh, that was one of my biggest fights. Was like, I remember I was so mad that day, and I was like, no, I'm not. Like, yeah, and like she's like, but you can write something, it can be amazing, and who cares if it's similar to this or like has the same pattern as this
Yeah.
or rhythm as
And not
this.
only that, but I think it's important to do it. And especially because of not just different perspectives, but different types of representation as well. I mean,
Yes.
again,
Mm-hmm.
same thing with the fairy tale thing, and Disney did that, right? But then you have people who have written books and started to make films that are retellings of that with different representation that show
Yep.
queer relationships or what have you. And that's important because people want to see their stories
Yes.
in
Yeah.
books and on the screen, and and every perspective is truly different, and you
Mm-hmm.
may have a perspective that somebody else out there needs to see, and that them reading it and seeing that makes them realize that they're not alone and that there's
Yes.
somebody else who understands their experience. And I think that's the core of what's important about anything you do, music, art, etc., is that, right?
Yes. Absolutely. 100%. One of the other reasons why the Shattered World is called the Shattered World is because the game I have tried. Now again, I'm one person. There are absolutely going to be areas at which I failed, but I have tried to make the game genuinely worldwide. One of my initial design philosophies was the world outside your door, wherever the fuck that door was. Um, I remember back when I was a kid, and as an adult, it feels stupid to even say, but I remember as a kid getting for 3.0 the Oriental Adventures Handbook. And it was supposed to be D&D, but taking inspiration from all these different Asian cultures and all of this, and then you got the book, and your new classes are samurai and ninja, and you run around in samurai clans, and it's Japan. It's just Japan. It's just fucking Japan. And where is my Vietnamese? Where is my Sri Lankan? Where is my Indian subcontinent? Right? Like it's a big fucking place. There are all these different creatures and myths, and why aren't they being represented? And that was one of my goals with the Shattered World, was to make sure that as much of the world is represented as accurately as possible. Again, I am one dude. I am absolutely going to misunderstand and misinterpret some things, and there's gonna be some stuff that I am gonna look at and be like, okay, cool, I think I've done this justice, and then someone else from that culture is gonna look at it and yell at me, and they're absolutely in the right to do so. Please,
Yeah.
I get it. It's gonna happen, and
You
one
always get that one person though. You will
right,
always get that one person who'll fight. You always take something differently and like
yeah,
get I don't know, get upset about what you've done. Like
Yes.
Yeah, but like you can try as best as you want, and then there's always one person that just interprets it differently, and
Yes.
then has their little cry about it, and you're like, okay, I thought I did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
As
think that raises a fair question about feedback, which is that's something that I think that all creators need, right? Is feedback.
Hmm.
But how do you, as a creator, differentiate between feedback that's helpful that maybe you want to try to incorporate in your projects and what's just a noise and people hating on it to hate on it? Like, how do you, and furthermore, how do you deal with that when you do get, because you are going to have people who
yes.
just are gonna hate on it to hate on it, and it's hard to tune that out and not let
Yes.
that affect you. So
So I am 42 years old, about to be 43. When I was 13 years old, I posted some of my writing online for the first time on what was then stories.com and later became known as writing.com. And I still, to this day, remember the very first review I ever got. This sucks, you suck, I hope you fucking die.
wow.
Yep, people are not
My
nice. Yeah.
goodness,
Oh,
that's
it was
awful.
it was beautiful. I loved it. Not at the time. I hated it at the time. I
Oh yeah,
I
yeah, absolutely.
set everything to private and I went back and cried in my room listening to Linkin Park for the next month and a half. But
Yep, bet,
That's how
um
bet.
you do it.
That's
right,
it.
like
Me after posting writing on Tumblr when I was 13.
oh my god, it was either that or Evanescence, like let's be real. But
Absolutely. That's
uh
the best music to cry to.
oh, nobody
Yeah.
fucking understands. It's not a phase, mom. Anyway,
Hmm.
You're damn right.
Like,
it's
but yeah.
He knows.
right. Like it's I wish I could give a better answer than just talk with people, assume they're operating in good faith until they prove otherwise. And you're only going to know that through experience. I wish to God I could give a better answer than that, but that is the only real answer I have because I think that is the real answer. You will absolutely have those douchebags that this sucks, you suck, I hope you fucking die. But you will also have those people that are harsh without realizing they are.
I think that's very fair and valid. I think
Yeah.
sometimes I can be quite blunt, and I don't mean to
Yes.
be. I just say I'm Australian, and that lets me get away with it sometimes. Oh, I don't know, I'm from another country, blah blah. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, some people, some people do. Like, some of my good friends give me quite direct feedback, and I'm like, yeah, sometimes like it's great, but like, because I know them, but other people like will see it and be like, yeah, no, like that. Why are they being so rude to you? And I'm like, no, that's who they are.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah.
I'm gonna be such a hypocrite in saying this because I struggle with criticism as much as the next person. But I think that the most important thing that you can keep in mind is that what matters more than anything in anything you are creating, no matter what it is that it reflects what you want it to be.
Yes.
That's what's important, that you're putting out there something that you feel like is a reflection of what you wanted to show. That's the only thing that matters. As long as you're doing that, you can take whatever feedback you want to
Mm-hmm.
improve it, make it better, etc. And I think you should. I think getting feedback from other people is super helpful.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it's your project, and
Yes.
the person who cares the most about it in the world is you. So
Yes.
make sure it's something that you like and are proud of when you put it out there, regardless of what anyone else has to say about it. If you did that, you accomplished your goal.
Yes. Exactly. Um, I hate to be rude, guys. I greatly appreciate you having me on, but this is my 5 minute warning.
No, you're good. No,
No
thank
worries
you.
at
We have
all.
so yeah, like so we do have links to where to follow you. Let me post those again in case anyone missed them.
And while
Um,
Valer's doing that, let me go ahead and just ask you, lastly, what I think is the most important question that we have. which is in creating something like this, in creating anything. What do you think is the most important advice you could share as to how you keep going with it and not give up on finishing your project?
Failure is inevitable, and that is a good thing. You are going to stumble. You are going to screw up. You are going to feel like this is fucking pointless and why am I doing this? And after that, you are going to figure something out that has been eluding you for a month, and it is going to be the greatest feeling in the world. Do not be afraid of failure. It's going to happen. When I was in the military, we had a saying, embrace the suck. And the basic premise of that is...
I like that.
Yes. The basic premise of that is you're on mile 49 of a 50-mile hike. You're carrying a 50-pound bag on your back. You're hurt. You're sore. You feel like shit. You've already puked twice. But my brother in Christ, you are on mile 49 of 50. Suck it up. Get through it. Because you're right there. You are right there. And it never looks like you are right there when you've got that sack on and when you've got that bag on and when you're sore and hurting. It never looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
Stumble, fall, get back up, finish the fucking hike. You'll thank yourself when you do.
I think that's so valid, and that is so
Embrace the
true.
suck.
Well, yeah, I do like embrace
Yeah.
yourself. That's the one. There's like, yeah, you do like. I did read a book called Failing Forward, and it's all about.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't. It's not failing. It's part of the course, sort of thing. It's so. Yeah, you're gonna feel like that. It's gonna happen, and like you've just got to keep on pushing through because, like you said, like yeah, you're on mile 49. Like you're almost there, and when you
Yes.
work that out, your next step over, you're like, damn, like. That's yeah.
There are way too many
the
confident...
road to success is littered with failure.
Yes. There are way too many confident idiots out there for me to have this much imposter syndrome and fall on my face. Get up and show them wrong.
Yes, yes, I
Oh.
love that also
Yes, indeed.
so much.
That's right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can do all things through spite, which strengthens me.
Same. All those terrible exes that said I couldn't do it.
That's
Like,
right.
fuck you. Here's my
Yes,
book I
a lot.
wrote. Yeah, this arsehole, that's you. That character based on you. You're
That's
welcome.
right.
I love it. Mr. Mighty, I'm so glad you got to come on with us today and tell us about the
Yes, thank
Shattered
you, thank
World.
you.
Absolutely.
So excited as
Operation
well.
0 Hour is going to be out in a couple of months, we said.
Yes.
And the
yeah.
core rulebook by the end of the year.
Yes.
What's the best place for people to get updates on the Shattered World?
So the best place to get updates is through our Facebook page. I'm constantly updating there. I will be updating our website and our Discord, and that will be announced on the Facebook. For now, that's the best place.
Nice.
I'm also on here, Twitch, couple times during the week, whether we're streaming the Shattered World, whether I'm doing Bitey's breaks and just messing around and trying not to slam my head against a wall. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, and we play D&D every other
Yes.
Saturday with Super.
Yes. We absolutely commit war crimes with, play Dungeons and Dragons with Super.
Nice.
We have a great time over there.
Oh,
I
it's
think our next
beautiful.
session is on Valentine's Day.
Oh God, I think so. Let me... Because it was supposed to be the
It is.
31st. It is on... Oh God. Oh, that's going to be horrible.
No.
Who's gonna be Frad's Valentine?
Oh
Oh my
no.
god, this sounds great.
I've got a keg full of fire-breathing potion. Who wants to be my Valentine's?
Love
Hey,
that.
it's gonna be a very, very hot night.
Oh, it's gonna be a spicy one.
We're gonna have a great time. Oh, thank you
Yes.
so much for being our first guest
Absolutely.
and for
And
sharing your project and thoughts with us.
yes, and thank you both for having me. Saucy, Valor, I
It's a great time.
appreciate it. This has been a blast.
Yes, I've had so much fun too. Thank you,
All
thank you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You guys take care. Be safe.
You too, thank
too.
you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.